On what seemed like an ordinary Tuesday morning, Willow Creek Medical Center buzzed softly with routine. Nurses exchanged warm smiles, charts shuffled, and the air smelled faintly of disinfectant mixed with brewed coffee. The K-9 unit's visit was meant to be a light-hearted safety demonstration, a moment of joy for the children in the pediatric wing. Among the officers stood Rex, a disciplined German shepherd known for his flawless instincts. But as they turned the corner into the East Wing, the calm shattered. Rex froze, every muscle tense, his sharp eyes locking onto Dr. Warren, and in that instant, everything changed forever. The hallway went from calm to chaos in seconds. Rex's low growl turned into a thunderous bark that echoed off the polished walls, startling nurses and sending papers fluttering from Dr. Warren's trembling hands. This wasn't a playful reaction or a dog misreading a signal. It was sharp, deliberate, a warning forged from years of training and instinct. His handler yanked back on the leash boots, skidding across the floor, but Rex lunged again, teeth bared and muscles coiled like a spring. The doctor stumbled back, his face draining of color, not in confusion, but in something far more telling: fear. The staff froze, hearts pounding as they watched the hospital's most trusted physician unravel under the gaze of a dog. "He's never done this before," the handler muttered, voice shaking. And in that chilling moment, everyone knew this wasn't about a demonstration anymore. Rex had found something no one else could see. Inside the small conference room, the air felt heavy, every tick of the clock pounding like a drum. Dr. Warren sat stiffly, his white coat folded neatly over the chair, trying to maintain the calm, polished image everyone knew. But the mask was cracking. His fingers fidgeted with a pen, his gaze darting to the door as if calculating escape. "You seem nervous, Doctor," one officer said, voice low but cutting. Warren forced a laugh, but sweat beaded on his forehead, and his hands trembled just slightly. Outside, the pieces were falling into place. Old staff records told a story the man inside couldn't hide from. 6 years ago, the same face had smiled for an ID photo, but under a different name. When the fingerprint scan came back, the truth hit like a thunderclap. Dr. Warren didn't exist. Daniel Reeves did. And the hospital's most trusted healer was about to be unmasked as a fugitive hiding in plain sight. When the officers stepped back into the room, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Dr. Warren once said evenly, or should we say, "Mr. Reeves." The color drained from his face as if the words themselves stripped away the last of his disguise. His lips parted, but no defense came, only silence, thick with defeat. Outside, the truth spread like wildfire through the sterile halls. Staff who once greeted him with trust now stood in stunned disbelief. The man they'd called a savior was nothing more than a fugitive in a white coat, and all it took to reveal him was the unwavering nose of a K-9. As the investigation dug deeper, the facade unraveled piece by piece, revealing a past darker than anyone imagined. Daniel Reeves had slipped through state lines for 6 years, leaving behind forged credentials, altered charts, and broken lives. One elderly patient's death, long thought to be a tragic misdiagnosis, now bore his fingerprints. Every document, every alias told the same story: a man who hid behind compassion while playing God with people's lives. But this time his escape ended not with an agent or a warrant, but with a German shepherd's growl. Back at the entrance, Rex sat calm, his chest rising steadily, unaware he'd just uncovered what countless databases had missed. He remembered the scent, his handler whispered, voice thick with awe. Nurses glanced down the hall at the dog, their eyes glistening. Trust had been shattered, but gratitude filled the cracks. The hospital would never forget the day a canine saved more than lives. He saved the truth. Word of the revelation spread through the hospital like wildfire, leaving a trail of shock and disbelief in its wake. Nurses clutched each other, their voices trembling, as they recounted moments they had trusted Dr. Warren with their patients and even their families. Some cried openly, mourning not just the betrayal, but the faith they had unknowingly placed in a stranger. Patients whispered in hushed tones, one child asking quietly, "But he helped me, didn't he?" The hospital director, her voice heavy with sorrow, addressed the staff. "We were all deceived," she said softly. "But thanks to Rex, the truth finally came to light." At the entrance, the German shepherd sat steady, his amber eyes calm, as if he understood the weight of what he had done. He hadn't just exposed a lie, he had restored the hospital's soul. That day, every person there learned that sometimes it takes 4 paws to uncover what human eyes can't see. Back at the hospital entrance, Rex sat like a silent sentinel, his handler kneeling beside him, still shaken by what had unfolded. He reacted to a scent the officer explained to a group of stunned nurses. Years ago, Rex was trained using evidence from an unsolved medical fraud case. One of the clinics Reeves fled. The realization spread through the crowd like a chill buried beneath layers of cologne and 6 years of lies Rex had remembered. His instincts had pierced through forged documents and polished charm to reveal the truth. The handler stroked the dog's head, voice low, but filled with awe. He didn't hesitate, not for a second. Around them, staff stared at the German shepherd with reverence, some whispering prayers, others holding back tears. Rex hadn't just followed training, he had followed something deeper, something pure. That day, the canine didn't just expose a man. He reminded everyone that real justice carries a heartbeat and walks on 4 legs. News of the revelation spread through the hospital like a storm. Nurses stood frozen in disbelief, some with tears in their eyes, as memories of trust and quiet conversations with the man now felt like betrayal. Patients whispered in hushed voices, "Is it true?" One small child clutched his mother's hand and asked, "But he helped me, didn't he?" The weight of the deception cut through every hallway like a blade. Behind that white coat had been 6 years of lies carefully woven into the heart of the hospital. The director, her voice trembling, gathered the staff. "We were all fooled," she admitted softly, "but because of Rex, the truth came to light." Silence fell, not of shame, but of gratitude. The German shepherd had done what no background check or polished resume could. He had not only exposed a fraud, he had saved lives and restored a sense of truth that no one would ever forget. One of the most powerful lessons in this story is that truth always finds a way to surface, often when we least expect it. For older generations who have seen life's trials and understand the value of integrity, this serves as a reminder that character matters more than appearances. Trust is not built on titles, uniforms, or polished words. It is earned through honesty and action. The canine's instincts also highlight another truth. Sometimes the simplest, most instinctive forms of loyalty can protect entire communities. For seniors, it reinforces the importance of listening to intuition and valuing relationships built on genuine care, whether with family, friends, or even the animals that share our lives. It also shows that vigilance and courage can come from unexpected places, and at any age we can still be protectors of what is right. In daily life, this story urges us to look beyond the surface question, when something feels wrong, and never underestimate small acts of loyalty and truth. Even in a world that changes quickly, honesty and instinct remain timeless guardians of trust.